The man was on his knees, begging. His bank account? Frozen. His job? Gone. His girlfriend? She'd stolen everything and vanished. But here's the crazy part. The woman he's desperately calling right now? The same woman he mocked for being fat. The same woman he laughed at in front of his friends. The same woman he threw away like garbage. And she's about to say something that will break him. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back to where it all started. 2 years earlier, Favour was the most beautiful bride Lagos had ever seen. Her wedding dress fit perfectly. She was slim, radiant, glowing. When she walked down that aisle, even the older women whispered, "This girl is blessed." Kelvin couldn't believe his luck. A manager at a shipping company in Victoria Island, good money, good looks, and now the woman every man at the wedding wanted. "I'm the luckiest man alive," Kelvin told his friends, holding Favour's hand tight. Favour smiled, her heart full of hope. She thought love would be enough. She was dead wrong, because 6 months later, everything changed, and what happened next would set off a chain reaction that would destroy Kelvin's entire life. The problem started small. Favour began gaining weight, 5 pounds, then 10, then 20. Her dresses got tight, her face got rounder. She tried everything, exercise, eating less, but the weight kept coming. What Favour didn't know, her body was sick. Deep inside, something was wrong with her hormones. But here's the thing, Kelvin didn't care about reasons. "Favour, are you eating for 3 people now?" he asked one morning, his eyes cold as ice. "I'm trying, baby. I promise I'm trying." "Try harder," Kelvin said, grabbing his car keys. "I didn't marry a big woman. Don't forget that." Those words hurt, but Favour told herself it would get better. It didn't get better. It got so much worse, and what Kelvin did next crossed a line he could never come back from. By their first anniversary, Favour had gained 40 pounds. Her body had completely changed. And Kelvin, he had stopped touching her, stopped saying, "I love you," stopped seeing her as his wife. One evening, he came home and saw her eating a small plate of jollof rice. "Why are you still eating rice?" Kelvin snapped. "I'm hungry. I only had 1 meal today." Kelvin laughed, that cold, cruel laugh. "1 meal? Look at you. You look like you've been eating for the whole neighborhood." Favour's eyes filled with tears. "That's not fair, Kelvin." "Fair?" He threw his briefcase on the couch. "Is it fair that I'm embarrassed to take you anywhere? Is it fair that my friends ask me why my wife looks pregnant when she's not?" "I'm your wife," Favour whispered. "You used to be," Kelvin said coldly. "Now I don't know what you are." But here's what Kelvin didn't know. Every cruel word, every insult, every moment of mockery was being recorded. Not on camera, not on tape. Karma was taking notes, and what happened next would be the beginning of the end. The months that followed were pure torture. Kelvin became crueler every single day. He stopped eating her food, told her she smelled bad, made fun of her in front of his family. "See my wife," he told his younger brother one Sunday. "She's eating us into poverty. Chop, chop, chop." His brother laughed uncomfortably, but Favour heard everything from the kitchen. She stood there, hand over her mouth, trying not to cry out loud. But wait, it gets worse. His mother started joining in. "Favour, my dear," Mama Kelvin said during a visit, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "You need to take care of yourself. How will you give me grandchildren looking like this? No man wants a fat wife." Favour wanted to scream, but she swallowed her pain like bitter medicine and kept hoping. Then one Friday night, Kelvin came home at midnight, and the smell hit her immediately. Perfume. Not her perfume, another woman's perfume. What happened next would change everything. "Where were you?" Favour asked. Kelvin looked at her with pure disgust. "Out? Away from here. Away from you." "Kelvin, please, we can fix this." "Fix what?" he shouted. "Fix you? Look at yourself, Favour. You think I want to come home to this? You think any man would?" Favour's whole body was shaking. "I'm your wife. You promised to love me in church. That was before you turned into this." That night, Kelvin slept in the guest room, and the next night, and the next. Soon, he stopped coming home at all. The whole neighborhood started talking. They saw his car parked outside other places. They saw him with another woman, Chioma, slim and pretty, from his office. But remember I told you Favour's body was sick? Well, she was about to discover the truth, and when she did, she was going to make a decision that would set Kelvin's downfall in motion. One morning, Favour fainted in the kitchen. She woke up in the hospital with a doctor standing over her, looking serious. "Mrs. Favour, we need to talk about your test results." Her heart raced. "What's wrong with me?" "You have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's been causing your weight gain. Your hormones are completely out of balance." The doctor leaned forward. "This isn't your fault. This is a medical condition." For the first time in months, Favour felt something other than shame. She felt validation. She wasn't lazy, she wasn't greedy, she was sick. When Kelvin finally showed up 3 hours later, Favour told him everything. She thought maybe, just maybe, he would understand now. He would apologize. Instead, Kelvin crossed his arms and said, "So now you have an excuse. That's convenient." Favour stared at him like she was seeing a stranger. "I want a divorce," she said quietly. Kelvin actually smiled. "Good, finally, you're making sense." As Kelvin walked to the parking lot, something strange happened. A sharp pain shot through his chest, just for a moment, just a quick burning sensation. He shook it off, blamed it on stress. He had no idea that pain was just the beginning. He had no idea that in exactly 3 weeks, his entire world would collapse. And here's where it gets insane. 3 weeks later, Kelvin woke up feeling like a king. The divorce was finalized. Favour had moved out quietly. Chioma had moved in. Life was perfect. "Baby, I'm so happy we can finally be together," Chioma said that morning. "No more hiding." Kelvin smiled. "This is just the beginning. I'm taking you to that new restaurant in Lekki tonight. I want everyone to see my beautiful woman." He drove to work feeling on top of the world, but by lunchtime, everything would change. "Kelvin, sit down," Mr. Adebayo said, his face deadly serious. "Is everything okay, sir?" Mr. Adebayo pushed a folder across the desk. "We've been doing an audit, and we found money missing from company accounts, and all of it traces back to your department." Kelvin's heart started pounding. "What? No, sir, I would never." "The evidence says otherwise. Security will escort you out. You're fired and we're pressing charges. The police will contact you." 2 security guards appeared at the door. They walked Kelvin out in front of everyone. His colleagues stared. Some whispered. The man who had been so proud, so arrogant, was being thrown out like a criminal.
But wait, because karma wasn't even close to finished with him yet. Kelvin's phone was ringing nonstop. Everyone had heard. But he ignored all calls except one, Chioma. "Baby, something terrible happened," Kelvin said, his voice shaking. "I need you. Can you meet me at home?" Long pause. Then Chioma said something that made his blood run cold. "Kelvin, I think we need to take a break." "What? Baby, no. I just lost my job. Someone framed me. I need you." "I can't do this," Chioma cut him off. "I thought you were successful. I thought you had money. I didn't sign up for this." "So you're leaving me just like that?" "I have to go. Goodbye, Kelvin." The line went dead. In one morning, Kelvin had lost his job and his girlfriend. But hold on, because what happened next, it's almost unbelievable. That evening, Kelvin went to the bank. The teller looked at her computer and frowned. Sir, your account has been frozen by court order. You can't access any of your money. Kelvin felt like he couldn't breathe. What? How? The company filed charges. Until the case is resolved, all your assets are frozen. No job, no girlfriend, no money. In less than 12 hours, his entire life had collapsed. When he got home, his landlord was waiting with 2 men. Kelvin, we need to talk. Your rent is 3 months overdue. I heard what happened today. I need my money or you need to leave. 3 months? Kelvin's mind was spinning. But I thought I paid. Then it hit him. Chioma. She had been handling his bills. She said she wanted to help. She'd been stealing from him. I want you out by the end of the week, the landlord said. 5 days, Kelvin. That night, Kelvin sat alone in the dark. The same room where he'd mocked Favour, where he'd destroyed her spirit day after day. His phone rang, his mother, and what she was about to say would absolutely destroy him. What is this disgrace I'm hearing? His mother shouted. The whole church is talking. They're saying you're a thief. Mama, I didn't do anything wrong. Someone set me up. I don't want to hear excuses. And where is that slim girl you left your wife for? She left me, Mama. Silence. Then his mother said something Kelvin never expected. You know what your problem is, Kelvin? You're a fool. You had a good woman, a woman who loved you, who cooked for you, who prayed for you, and you threw her away like rubbish. Because of what? Her body? Her weight? Mama, you were the one who said, I know what I said, and I was wrong. We were both wrong. That girl Favour was sick, and we treated her like trash. She paused. Now, look at you. Look at what's happening to you. This is what happens when you have no respect. This is karma, Kelvin. She hung up. For the first time in 2 years, Kelvin really thought about Favour. He remembered her face when he called her fat, her tears when he refused to touch her, how she begged him to just love her, and he had laughed. What have I done? Kelvin whispered to the empty room. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. 3 days later, Kelvin was at the market, trying to buy food with the little cash he had left. Then he saw someone. A woman, laughing with a vegetable seller, her smile bright and genuine. It took him a moment to recognize her. Favour. But this wasn't the Favour he remembered. She looked different. She'd lost weight, not from starving, but from being healthy. Her skin was glowing, her eyes were clear. She looked beautiful. No, she looked free. Kelvin wanted to hide, to run, but his feet wouldn't move. Then Favour turned and saw Kelvin. For a long moment, they just stared at each other. Favour's smile faded, but she didn't look angry, she didn't look hurt. She looked peaceful. She walked towards him slowly, and what she was about to say would be the final, crushing blow. Hello, Kelvin, Favour said quietly. Favour, Kelvin's voice broke. I heard about everything. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for everything. Favour looked at him, really looked at him. She saw the broken man in front of her. I forgave you a long time ago, she said. Not because you deserved it, but because I deserved peace. Kelvin's eyes filled with tears. Can we try again? I was wrong. I was so wrong about everything. Please, Favour, give me another chance. Favour smiled sadly and shook her head. No, Kelvin, that part of my life is over. I'm healing now. I'm finally happy. But I love you, Kelvin said desperately. I know I didn't show it before, but I do. No, Favour said gently. You love what I could do for you, but you never loved me, the real me. She took a step back. I hope you find peace, Kelvin. I hope you learn from this, but I can't be the one to teach you. I already paid that price. Kelvin grabbed her arm. Please, I have nothing. No job, no money, no home. Everyone left me. You're all I have. Favour gently removed his hand. She looked him straight in the eye. Now you know what I felt like. Now you know what it's like when the person you promised to love you walks away. Now you know what it's like to be alone." She paused. "Maybe this is exactly what you needed to learn." She walked away, head held high, leaving Kelvin standing there with tears running down his face. Kelvin's name was finally cleared. Another employee confessed to the theft, someone jealous of his position who'd framed him perfectly. He got his money back, not his job, not his reputation, not the 2 years he'd wasted being cruel and proud. He learned the hardest lesson of his life. You can mock people, you can look down on them, you can think you're better than everyone else, but karma doesn't forget, karma doesn't forgive. Kelvin never remarried. He spent years working hard, staying humble, trying to become the man his ex-wife had deserved from the beginning. Sometimes, late at night, he still thought about Favour. He heard she'd gotten the treatment she needed, that she was healthy and happy, that she'd started a business helping other women with PCOS, that she was living her best life. And Kelvin was happy for her, truly happy. As for Chioma, she moved on to another rich man, but she got exactly what she gave. He used her and left her, just like she'd done to Kelvin. Karma came for her too. Kelvin tells his story to young men who brag about their wives, who mock their partners, who think looks are everything. "Respect your woman," Kelvin says, his voice heavy with regret. "Love her for who she is, not what she looks like, because one day, when everything else is gone, your money, your friends, your health, only character remains, only love remains. And if you destroy that love, you'll have nothing." The man who mocked his wife for being fat learned that karma doesn't forget. He learned that outer beauty fades, but inner cruelty destroys everything. And by the time he learned this lesson, it was too late. The woman he threw away had already healed, moved on, and built a better life without him. Sometimes the hardest lesson is realizing the person you hurt the most was the only person who truly loved you. If this story taught you something, hit that subscribe button, because next week I'm bringing you another story that will absolutely blow your mind. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.